you going on a European vacation soon? Well, congratulations, you're gonna have a wonderful time. In this video, I'm gonna show you some tips and some strategies for packing your suitcase for a European vacation that's gonna make your time there so much better. Let's get started. So the very first thing you need to do is make a list. Now, I know some people are list people and some people are not, but you really need to make a list, write it down on paper, or better yet, put it on your computer. And I'm gonna share with you my list, and so you can use this as a starting point, and then you can add and subtract things to meet your specific travel needs. The list is crucially important because if you put a lot of thought into that and you know exactly what you need for each of the activities that you're going to be doing throughout your vacation, then you can just highlight it or check it off once you put it into your suitcase, and then you don't have to think about it again. And then when you're going to the airport, you don't have to wonder, wait, did I pack sunscreen? Or, oh my goodness, I think I forgot Ziploc bags. So with the packing list, you'll remember everything. Now, I have been a tour manager for 10 years, and I've been traveling all over the world, and I've been to over 50 countries. So I'm gonna give you a lot of pro tips in this video that will save you a lot of hassle. The next thing you do is choose what suitcase you're going to use. Now, I'll show you several different ones that I use for my various different travels, and then I'll help you choose which is going to be the best suitcase for you. So, starting out, I use this big mama jama sometimes, and that is only when I'm traveling and I'm going to be gone for several months at a time. Otherwise, if I'm not going to be gone as long, I use this one, and this is the one that I like the most. However, let me give you a heads up about hard-sided suitcases that are a shell and open up like this. They take up twice the amount of room. So you want to keep that in mind, and you may just have to open it up and put it on the hotel floor. Now that takes up a lot of space, and that may be a reason why you want to steer away from that. In that case, you might prefer to use a soft-sided suitcase, because this kind you can just lay out on a luggage rack and it just takes up half the amount of room, and you just open it up in the top. And this one right here is the absolute max dimensions of a carry-on suitcase. So that's another benefit of this one, because you can take it with you and you won't have your luggage lost by the airline. And I'm going to talk in a totally different video about making all of your stuff fit in a carry-on for your vacation. But today I'm going to use this one. Even given all the disadvantages of a hard shell suitcase, this is the one that I still like the best. So this is the one that I'm going to be using today. So now that we have our suitcase picked out, we're going to set that aside and start out packing clothing. If you're getting value out of this content, I would love it if you would click like and subscribe, because that will help other viewers find this channel as well. Now, let's get back to packing. Let me give you a general rule of thumb of how much clothing you should be packing. So I would say, think about how many days you're going to be gone. Let's say 1 week, 7 days. So cut that in half and take that many pair of bottoms. So you'll need 4 bottoms, and then go ahead and take 8 tops. That way you have 1 for every day and 1 extra just in case one gets dirty or you change your mind. So if you're going to be gone 10 days, then have 5 bottoms and 10 or 11 tops. And then if you're going to be gone 2 weeks, I wouldn't suggest that you really need 7 bottoms. Go ahead and just take 6 bottoms, and then you really don't need the whole 14 tops because you can wash and rewear throughout your trip. So maybe just have about 12 tops in that case. And if you like to wear dresses as you're touring around, then count that as one of your tops, but don't subtract a bottom for that. And when I say bottoms, I mean shorts or pants or skirts. So I have an upcoming trip to Croatia, and I am going to lay out all of my clothing selections and take you along on my packing journey and show you just exactly how I do it. I'm going to be gone for 12 days. So I'm going to take 5 bottoms, 10 tops, and a few dresses. So this is going to be a cruise through the Croatian islands, and I'm actually the cruise director of the tour. So I really packed a lot of anchors, and I kind of went a little overboard on it. Get it? Overboard on the anchors. So let me show you how I lay out my clothing when I'm figuring out what I'm gonna pack. So I start out with selecting some bottoms, shorts in this case, and then I picked 2 different shirts that I think go nicely with it. Then I have another pair of shorts and 2 tops that go well with it. And then I picked out some striped pants and then a t-shirt that goes with it, but then I also picked out 2 tops that I layer together, and in that case I just count it as 1. Then I have some linen pants with a casual t-shirt to go with it, and then also a dressier top. And skirts are always a good idea because they're easy and breezy, and I picked 2 different white tops that go well with it. Okay, there's my 5 bottoms and 10 tops that I've picked out for this vacation. And I just wanted to give you a word to the wise that you should always pack a pair of pants even if you're going to a hot weather destination, because you never know if you might have a cold snap or a rainy day and you might prefer to have pants on. And I don't know about you, but I prefer to wear pants when I'm traveling through the airport. So even if I don't wear these for the whole entire vacation, I could wear them in the airport on the way to my vacation and on the way back. So always pack some pants. And that goes the other direction too. If you're going to a destination where it's really cold and you know that you're going to be wearing gloves and coats and things like that all of the time, always pack at least 1 pair of shorts, because you never know when there might be a hot day, or maybe you just want to wear shorts as you're lounging around in your hotel room. Now let me show you the 3 dresses that I picked out to take along. Because I know it's going to be hot, I chose dresses that are very lightweight, and also that's best for packing. So I have this one long dress that is linen, and then this is a very lightweight fabric, and it's a short dress. And then I have another dress here that's also short. Now, all 3 of these dresses are casual enough that I could just throw on a pair of sandals or tennis shoes and run around all day in them, exploring the town or going on a city tour or something like that. But then they're also dressy enough that I could put on some pretty jewelry, and this could be for a dinner out. And that gives you a lot of variety in your wardrobe if you pack dresses that are like that. Once you have your clothing all laid out and picked out, then go ahead and try them on to make sure you like the way they fit and the way they look on you and the way they go together. And then also take that time to go ahead and pick out which things need to go with those clothing, like specific undergarments that you need to wear with it, or a scarf that you want to wear with it, and go ahead and pick out your jewelry at that moment too. And then also take a picture of each outfit and just keep that in your phone. That way when you're traveling, you don't have to go rifling through your suitcase and think, what am I gonna wear today? You can just flip through the photos on your phone and see what you feel like wearing that day. Next, we're going to talk about the actual packing process. And I have tried so many different things in my years of travel, of folding clothes different ways or rolling them or whatever. But I've decided what I love the best is packing cubes. And they come in different sizes. So what you do is you fold up the things that you're going to take in categories. So fold up a whole stack of your shirts, a whole stack of your pants or skirts or whatever your bottoms are, and then fold up your whole stack of swimwear, which we haven't even talked about swimwear yet. But if you're going on a cruise, you'll definitely need a few swimsuits and swimsuit cover-ups. So once you have your items folded and stacked up, then you choose a packing cube that is an appropriate size for that stack. But wait, before we get started packing, something very important that you need to do is set aside the things that you're going to wear in the airport. So I'm gonna wear this shirt and these pants, and also set aside the socks and the undies that you're gonna wear that day too. And then, super important pro tip, also pack in your carry-on another set of clothing. So I'm gonna pack these shorts as my extra set, and a white t-shirt. And then also undies and socks that go with it too. So what I like to do when I'm packing my extra clothing, and the reason why you do this is because just in case your suitcase gets lost, then you have an extra set of clothing that will tide you over until your suitcase is found. Or if it's never found at all, then it will help you have some clothing to wear while you are shopping and getting some others. So you roll up tight your outfit that is your extra one, and then you can just put it right into a Ziploc bag. There we go. And then you can put it right down in the bottom of your backpack or your little carry-on. And that way it's not in your way, but you'll be so glad you have it if your luggage gets lost. Before we start loading up our suitcase, if you have an iPhone, I strongly recommend that you get an AirTag. And then you can put that inside of your suitcase. I like to put my AirTag inside of the lining of my suitcase. And that's because if my suitcase gets stolen, the thief is not very likely to look there. And if my suitcase is just lost by the airline, I can keep track of exactly where it is. My luggage was recently lost and I had my AirTag in there, and I knew where my bag was before the airline even did. And it brought me a great deal of comfort knowing where it was. Also, before you head out, make sure you have a fresh battery in there so you can track it at all times. And if you don't know how to change the battery, then you can watch this video right here and I'll show you exactly how to do it. Now, let's get that suitcase loaded up. And I don't put my dresses in a cube. I just lay those out as flat as possible in my suitcase before I start putting anything else in. Now, let's get back to those packing cubes. Also, think about what shoes you're gonna need for each outfit. And let me give you a heads up. Please keep this to a minimum. You don't want to be gone for 10 days and have 10 pairs of shoes, or even 5 pairs of shoes. If you can get by with 3, that's gonna be best. What I'm gonna do for shoes on this trip is 1 pair of very casual and comfortable tennis shoes, but they're kind of cute too. And keep in mind that tennis shoes can easily be worn with dresses because that's very fashionable and it's very practical too. You can run around town in your cute little casual, cool dress and wear tennis shoes with it. So I'll be wearing these in the airport and then throughout the vacation as necessary. And then a really, really great way to save space on shoes. So if you're going on a beachy vacation or you're gonna spend a lot of time at the pool, you're gonna want flip-flops for sure. But if you're running around the town in a pretty little dress or dressing up for the evening, you're gonna want some pretty shoes. Well, why not try to combine the two? I like to wear these shoes. They are made by Skechers and they're really comfortable and really squishy, and they have a wedge heel. So they're pretty enough to wear with a dress, but also they're comfortable enough and casual enough that I can wear them to the beach or the swimming pool. So that way I only have 1 pair of shoes and it meets a lot of different needs. If you're going to the beach, you'll want to do a little research ahead of time to know whether it's a sandy, soft beach or if it's rocky. And if it's rocky, you'll definitely want some water shoes because you'll need them walking around on the beach, but also even once you get in the water, it's still rocky there. So I'm gonna take these water shoes as well on this trip. And these I'll be wearing in the airport, so I don't need to pack them. But anytime you're packing shoes, you'll wanna put them in a plastic bag so that they don't get your clothes dirty or wet or stinky. I pack my undergarments in this hanging bag with lots of pockets, and then it folds up and ties up nice and tidy. I keep some backup first aid supplies in my suitcase, but the super crucial first aid and medicine will be in my purse. And then I have 1 last packing cube with my pajamas, bras, and a baseball cap. And then I have a hanging bag for my jewelry that has pockets on both sides, and then it folds up very compactly. All right, now let's talk about toiletries. As you can imagine, you want to go as light as possible. But before we start talking about the liquids and things like that, I want to tell you that oftentimes in European hotels, there are not washcloths. So if you're used to using a washcloth to take off your makeup or a washcloth in the shower to wash your body with, what you can do is buy some microfiber washcloths and take them with you and get them in 2 different colors. That way you can remember which one you use for your face and which one you use for your body. And many times when you are packing up from one hotel and you need to move on to the next one, you may even need to take your washcloths with you and they're still a little wet or a little damp. Now, microfiber does dry very quickly and you can wring it out inside of your hand towel and that will get it almost completely dry, but it might be a little bit damp. Therefore, I have a plastic baggie that I keep for each washcloth and they're labeled so that I can slip it in there and then I can just take it to my next destination and dry it out in my next hotel. Now come over here and take a look because I'm going to show you some strategies about saving weight in your suitcase because every ounce counts. So if you can cut out a little bit of weight here and a little bit of weight there, then your suitcase will be lighter in the end, and that means you can buy more souvenirs to take home. Another thing that you don't always find in hotels is conditioner. So if that's something that's important to your hair, then you might want to take some with you. However, this is a travel size, but yet it's still pretty big. You don't have to take the biggest one available. So leave the biggest one at home and take even a smaller one. Another way that you can downsize your ounces is don't take a big old jar of night cream for your face because this glass jar is really heavy. Put just what you need in here. And it doesn't mean that you need to fill the whole entire thing. Just put in a few scoops, however much you think that you'll need for the days that you're gone. And don't bother putting in your suitcase a wrinkle releaser like this. All you have to do is have water in a spray bottle and then smooth out your clothes and the wrinkles will come right out. Take a small little empty one and then fill it with water in your hotel. Same goes for hairspray. If you buy a travel-sized hairspray, it may still be a big bottle. You can just put the hairspray that you actually need in a smaller spray bottle. And not only that, but you can measure ahead of time how much hairspray you actually use. And then what I do is I put right here 2.5 inches for 10 days. So I'm going to be gone for 12 days. So what I did is I filled this up a little bit higher than my 2.5 inch line. Don't take a full-size deodorant, take a small one instead. And this is the razor that I normally use at home, but it's kind of big and bulky and heavy. So I found this one that is very lightweight. It's just plastic and it's very flat too, so it hardly takes up any space. So just by taking the amount that you actually need, you can see visually that these things are much smaller and take up much less space than these things. Now I put all my streamlined toiletries in here, and then it's ready to go into the suitcase. And I love that it has a hanger so I can easily get to all of my things in the hotel room. Here's a pro tip for you, especially if you travel a lot. Have a totally separate set of makeup than what you normally use and keep it in a travel case. That way you're ready to pop it in your suitcase and you're good to go at any time. If you're going to be doing any water activities, have a waterproof lanyard for your phone, and you can use your phone right through the plastic. Now let's get everything else loaded up in the suitcase. Now we have our suitcase all packed up. But we're not done yet. There's still a few more things I want to tell you. First of all, if your suitcase doesn't already come with a lock on the top, buy one in the travel section. It has to be TSA approved so that they can unlock it if necessary. So go ahead and lock up your suitcase, and then don't neglect having a tag on there. You'll need the crucial information of your name, your email address, and your phone number with your country code. If you live in the United States of America, put +1 and then your area code and your phone number. If you live outside of the United States, then look up your country code, put plus that number, and then your phone number. That is super duper important on your luggage tag. Also, you'll need a travel scale. Before you head to the airport, be sure to check the weight of your checked bag. It can only be 50 pounds or 23 kilograms. You can check it by using a scale like this, and then you'll know that you're within the acceptable range, and you won't have to pay extra for an extra heavy bag, or you won't have to go through your suitcase and unpack some of it to make it lighter right there in the airport. And then you can keep this in your carry-on. Now, speaking of carry-ons, I am going to address how and what to pack in your carry-on and your personal item. And there's some really crucial things to know about that. So I'm gonna address that in my next video, so watch for that one coming soon. So I've covered tons of packing tips in this video. I would love to hear which one you felt was most beneficial to you. So write that in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you have some packing tips that I didn't mention and they're things that you really like to do, then please mention those in the comments. I'd love to hear those as well. Now, as far as travel tips in general, I'm gonna do a totally different video on that, so watch for that one because I have a lot of helpful pro tips to share with you for travel in Europe and all around the world that will really benefit you in your upcoming travels. So now you know how to pack your suitcase like a pro. We can do it. And add and subtract things that, and then you can add and subtract